about to get started in like 1 minute. We getting started in 1 minute. We about to get started. All right, y'all. I'm right here. I'm getting some last minute notes together for y'all. I should have waited before I hit start. I'm getting some last second notes together for y'all. Because this is going to be a discussion not off emotion, but based in empirical evidence, okay? I'm having this conversation, as we all know, we see what's been going on this week in LA. And there's a lot of, I don't know if I want to say misinformation because everybody got their own perspective. But there's a lot of lies being told about LA. And I'm going to call it lies because niggas know that they lying at the end of the day. Black folks got this acceptance thing that white supremacy's done to where we just got to be accepted by everybody, Always looking for acceptance. And in looking for acceptance, we tend to lie to ourselves. And through lying to ourselves, we lie to the people. And this black and brown thing has been a lot of Democrat pushed agenda on us that we tend to lie to ourselves about. Is black and brown unity a myth or reality? It's two answers to that. It's real on the sense of individually, most of us in LA do have individual Latinos that we cool with. Most of us do. So on a personal level, you can say, okay, there's unity on that level. But overall, hell no. And even on an individual level, if you've ever been cool with a Latino, with a Mexican here in LA, all you have to do is ask how they family feels. How many times have you been invited in the house? Or do you just kick it on the porch? Or do they come to your porch? See, what happens is black people are under this thing because on another level, people like to party with us, We the party people. We where everybody go to have fun. From LA to New York. What do you always hear from people like Crazy Legs over in New York or these niggas here in LA? Oh, we party together. Look, man, everybody party with black people because we're the coolest people on planet. We got the coolest music. And I'm not saying that. That's not hyperbole. That's what you guys say. Y'all all of your music in 2025, don't sound like your indigenous music in 1955. All your music tends to sound like what we do, just in your language. So y'all generally sit down with y'all create and pick up what we create. You know, y'all tend to start talking like us as time goes along. You guys tend to start dressing like us as time goes along. And I'm not talking about this. I'm not soloing out Mexicans right now. This is worldwide. People that come to America. This is for everybody that comes to America. This is the Irish when they came. This is the Greek. This is the Dutch. This is the Anglo. This is the Saxon. This is the Hun, the Frank. When they come around us, everybody want to party with us. You go back and read books like Blue Monday, you see that people like Fats Domino was like the white folks was coming into white people always had access to our venues. We just never had access to theirs. So whether you're talking about New Orleans and Fats Domino, or up in Chicago with Muddy Waters, or in Harlem with the Savoy and the Cotton Club and those places, you always find others that traditionally don't like us coming around to party with us. And it's no different in today's time with the newer populations of immigrants. It's no different. So when you combine the need for Black acceptance with other people coming around when it's time to party, you can develop some fantasy in your mind that we're all the same. And because our humanity as a people, we accept everybody. And so we want is to be accepted in so many ways. And so that plays against us. And we think just because people are coming to party with us, they are our friend. Everybody's our friend when Tupac is on. Of course, why not? He's dope as hell. Everybody's our friend when Diana Ross Supremes are playing them. Or Biggie. Or you name the Black artist from whatever generation. War. All my friends know the low rider. Everybody's our friend when the music is playing. But who is our friend when it's time to hire at work? Who is our friend on the police department that, okay, when this particular population gets control of the police department, we see a reduction in anti-Black violence? That's not true right now with the Mexicans on the LAPD or the LA County Sheriff. What group shares access to land and wealth freely with Black Americans on the same level we share hip hop with them? Let's keep it at hip hop. What we offer, and not just hip hop and music. What we offer. The group War, you would think is all Mexicans now. You would think if you went to go see the group War play right now, you'd see one nigga and all Mexicans. When the original lowriders, the other brothers that were the originators of the band, most are all still alive, they got a tour under the Lee Oscar and those guys got a tour under the name The Original Lowriders. We shared the stage with them. The platform, the jobs. I remember, for those, in today's show, we're going to be intertwining LA history with this. But do y'all know that Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles on Pico and La Brea once lost a racism lawsuit filed by a Black employee against a Mexican manager? That was a long time ago in the earlier days of the internet. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Let me see if I can find it. Because the brother that won the lawsuit, I think he since passed away. But he used to go to my church. Here we go, right here. Look at this. Hold on. That goddamn fan on. It's getting hot. Next time. Look at this. A former employee of Roscoe's House of Chicken and Waffles was awarded more than $1 million in damages after he sued the popular chain alleging racial discrimination and wrongful termination. Daniel Beasley, a black man, filed a racial discrimination lawsuit and wrongful termination against the soul food chain. And he says, it's owned by an African-American owner, but he gives full authority to the Hispanics who run it. You got this is the reason why we having today's talk is because the only reason why this stuff goes along is because black people allow it. And too many of us are culturally weak and don't have a code. Too many of us. This isn't an issue of Latinos having more numbers than us. This isn't an issue of them having more power than us. This is an issue of dumb niggas allowing this shit to happen. And we're using Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles as a case study. So make that very clear. This is a conversation about us. Ice Cube tried to warn us. Ice Cube tried to warn us. And so he said, young brothers and sisters today have a lack of understanding of what it really means to be black. Back when we made music ourselves. Sometimes we gotta look at us. And basically, this black man sued and won $1 million from Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles because Roscoe's put Mexicans in charge of the kitchen. These motherfuckers is so bold that they're racist against black people in a black-owned establishment. That's the whole story right there. That's the story right there in the nutshell. A nigga turning his back while white supremacist leaning people come in and tear everything up. I used to go to that Roscoe. I remember this shit. I was always at that Roscoe's. I was right down the street from the Comedy Union. And when I first started stand-up comedy was where I met Big John, Daphne, and everybody that you see on all Def shows. We all met at the Comedy Union that's one block down from that Roscoe's. So we spent plenty of nights after getting off stage in that Roscoe's during the time this was happening. And I know how that motherfuckers was. They fucked with everybody except Big Mama. Rest in peace, Big Mama. So this is how we're going to start today's conversation. With that being said, welcome chat room. Thank y'all for joining. On my website, on thewamb.com right now, type in the discount code back for more. You get 10% off. I got this shirt right here. Black people don't owe anybody anything but an ass whooping. Get your John Henry Clark shirt right now. Black people don't owe anybody anything but an ass whooping. You can get it right now at thewamb.com/shop. Because we're going to explain this today and get rid of some of this black inferiority syndrome. Get rid of some of this black inferiority syndrome that we're going through as a people right now. So, again, welcome chat room. Lady Hotep, Big E, Go-Go, Breeze, appreciate all y'all. Can't go to every name, but appreciate all y'all for joining. Make Felix Speaks. Make sure y'all hit the like button, Skew Raider. Sony, pass it around. Damon Reeves. Let everybody know that we in the building right now. We about to have a real talk about LA and about what's going on with this whole situation. Because I got to debunk some bullshit that's been put out there. Also, at 5 o'clock Pacific time, I'm going to be on Black Alpha Network. We're going to be talking more about this kind of stuff over on Black Alpha Network. Make sure y'all go and subscribe to Black Alpha Network. That's my guy. Very, very, very solid individual. One of the few cats online that I broke bread with in person. And he's every bit as 100 in person as he is online. So y'all make sure y'all check that out later on. But let's go. Let's talk about this. Oh, and I appreciate you, T Dynamite, for posting that picture. That's what made me. I'm like, yeah, let me put that shirt back out there. Because white supremacy can only exist with black inferiority. Are we inferior to anybody? No. Do we act that way? Hell yes. The toughest and baddest of niggas is act inferior. Y'all niggas lighten their voice when white folks come around. You look at all the black folks you see right now, black and brown. Look at all the tough ass rappers, black and brown. It ain't been no black and brown nothing. In practice. That's just something a bunch of scared niggas say. Appreciate the super chat, go. That's just something the scared niggas say. Because we want that acceptance and access, like what Neely Fuller said, access to interracial relations. That's ultimately what most of these niggas want. Sexual access and acceptance. So I was scrolling through some of my favorite hood podcasts. And I came across this clip on Back on Fig. And shouts out to Back on Fig. I ain't got no problem with those brothers. But there was some stuff that was said that I would like to address from my point of view. I'm just addressing it from my point of view. I don't have no issues with those brothers at all. I think they're quite entertaining. And I think that they run a good show. So I'm not about to disparage them in any way, shape, or form. I just want to address something that was said. Also being from LA, because what happens is, this is what happens in LA. And it happens in Chicago too. I know Chicago people got to deal with it in different places, but LA is synonymous with gang culture. And I'm not mad at people for having that perception. Movies like Colors, Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, Death Row Records, all that. So I'm not about to sit here and act like y'all stupid for thinking that. No, you're very intelligent for thinking that, because that's the image. Shows like Snowfall. That's what gets projected to the rest of the world about black men in LA. And it's very little balance. Friday gave balance. But outside of movies like Friday and maybe like The Best Man, that was filmed in Ladera Heights, The Best Man. Outside of movies like Friday and The Best Man, that's what you're going to think about LA. So what's been happening on YouTube is a lot of the most popular podcasts, because of people like Vlad and Adam 22, mostly Adam 22, they're centered around gang culture in LA. And it's a natural thing. I'm not mad at them for doing it, because LA has projected this bullshit culture for 30 years. Again, I'm not mad at nobody, because we don't control the propaganda that we see. But the myth is everything is about the streets. And that can't be further from the truth. There are so many more black people in LA, young black men, that did not bang, don't give a fuck about the gang culture, We just learned just enough about it to know not what to do. And we understand more of what's going on than just what's on the street life. So what happens is a lot of what you hear is coming from the streets. And I want to make it very clear that the streets are a subsection of LA. Not that they do not run shit. They don't run shit. They run their areas with their gangs, with other gangs. But the LAPD run this shit. The only gang that matters in LA is the LAPD. And the LAPD is 55% Latino. And they be jacking you niggas up worse than the white boys did. And y'all gonna sit around and be like, we all the same? What? The LAPD run the streets. Let's be very clear. The LA County Sheriff run the streets. Allegedly, I think, I'm gonna be like Kwame Brown, I think I snapped. They run the drug trade, I think, allegedly. They run the pimp trade, I think, allegedly. They run the trafficking trade, I think, allegedly. And whatever gangs are doing whatever the LAPD allows them to do. You don't even run your own block because you got gentrified off of it. Like I said yesterday, the reason why so many black people got gentrification was ripe in LA is because we've been under assault gentrification for 30 years. People moving out to Palmdale, people moving out to Riverside, San Bernardino, Pomona. Y'all got G'd up off the blocks y'all terrorized us on. You don't run nothing but other black people. And this is overall. When it comes to overall gang culture, I was listening to Reggie Wright's channel too, and he was talking about some of that stuff. Reggie Wright know who run the streets, and it ain't the streets. Not even the Mexican gangs, because the reason why the Mexican gangs have such a leg up over the black gangs in a lot of ways is because they're controlled by the Mexican mafia, and the Mexican mafia is controlled by the Hells Angels. The Hells Angels still run the shit out here too. Especially when you get going up the Highway 101. Man, please. Nobody's running shit. Let's make that very clear. Nobody's running a damn thing. Negroes are allowed to exercise power over other Negroes. And that's America. And the reason why I brought that up is this. We're gonna talk about this from a few different angles. When I was talking about the LAPD, who runs the streets, the LAPD is 54% Latino as of last year. The LA County Sheriff is 54% Latino. But when it comes to anti-black violence, it's the same now as it was in 2024 as it was in 1964 when the LAPD was all white. How is that? How do we all get along when the people we're talking about we're unified with, quote unquote, they now run the LAPD and the LA County Sheriff, but black people still get the same bitter results? See, gangs don't. We got to start asking the question about the gang life. Are black gangs the primary sellouts? I know Chuck D had posted something and I agree with because he really said drug dealers are the original sellouts. And I agree with that. But my question is it the gangs? And the gang life? And here's the reason why I asked that question. Every community has its gangs. Asians got, and every community's gangs robbed its own people. The triads fuck with Asians. I forgot. I'll give the Japanese and the Yakuza. The triads, I think, the Chinese. The Japanese and Yakuza, they terrorize their own neighborhoods. You know what I mean? The Mexican gangs, they terrorize their own neighborhoods. That's something that we all, share in common when it comes to gangs. Like, if you know anything about LA, out here, Hacienda Heights, Rolling Heights, a lot of Japanese live out here. And you get a lot of home invasion robberies from them Japanese gangs out here. They be fucking them people up out here. Every gang robs its own people. But here's the difference. Other communities' gangs protect their people from other groups. The Italian mafia kill each other all day, every day. But couldn't no nigga come and kill no Italian or say a word sideways to an Italian mafia. The Japanese Yakuza and the Chinese gangs, they kill each other all day. They rob each other. They harm each other. But let your black ass try it. Our gangs do the same that their gangs do, but they don't leave us no protection either. That's why I asked, are they just sellouts? Because everybody got gangs. We ain't unique when it comes to that. But you can't go to other communities' gangs as a black person, and you can't, other people's group gangs ain't gonna sit there and be like, oh, we cool with the black people too. Man, the black folks are cool. Name one other group's gang folks that's so cool with the black folks that we can go up in their culture, make money in it, talk shit about their culture, do all kind of crazy shit, and then those people who run shit go back and be like, oh, we're all good, we're all cool. Name one group. They hate each other, but they hate us too. In our gangs, we got to deal with niggas that hate us, but don't have the same fear energy for people that attack us. Y'all got the guns, and y'all got the courage. We squares. We ain't trying to go to jail. You niggas are going to jail so fast. And I'm saying this because I love my people and I love the cats in gangs too. And most niggas in gangs that I know that are still living, they done straighten their life up. And they on some other shit. But I'm bringing this up because here on YouTube, there's a glorification of that lifestyle. And that glorification hasn't gotten the rest of us black people diddly squat shit. At least the Italian gangs opened up grocery stores. At least the Japanese gangs can open up a chicken shack. Something. Everybody, like the Mexicans got the mafia in their gangs, but they also got rows and rows and blocks and neighborhoods of stores that they hired their own people at. Outside of Nipsey Hussle, how many black Mexican gangs got Homeboy Industries? At least out of they shit, they got Homeboy Industries. And in Homeboy Industries, so that they can keep their federal grants and everything, they'll let a couple black folks on just because you cannot have discrimination stuff and hold a grant. But Homeboy Industries is mostly 99% Latino. At least their shit created some kind of infrastructure. What have our gangs left us? And I know we've been sabotaged. I know that we've been undermined. I get all that. So with that being said, why are we glorifying the gang culture still? Why do we sit back and talk about and give attention to that particular lifestyle if it's done nothing for us? I know there's a lot of new people in here. I know all about the CIA. I know about all that stuff. Go and check this very channel. 2 years ago, I've done hours of breakdown on how we've been targeted. So if you think you're teaching me something about the CIA and all that stuff, just go back on my channel and get educated. All right. I understand this stuff. I'm talking about now. What do we do moving forward? I understand the rest of that stuff. But a lot of us, I'm still in the hood. I ain't left South Central. I'm born and raised in South Central. I had to deal with the gang terrorism of the 80s. I got to deal with gentrification now. I'm still here. We got to have these conversations. Because we talked about the game yesterday and all that shit. He was talking. And you're seeing some of the rap community and the street community sort of come together for their community. When I've never heard black people nothing mentioned at the Latin Grammys. Nothing. G asked a good question. Dewan, how do you feel about Kendrick and SZA doing a black and brown? They got to. Look, whenever you're, and I love Kendrick, but whenever you're on like that, you have certain instructions you got to follow. That's why you never hear me overly praise Kendrick like he's the Messiah and Savior. I love what he does. I love what he's doing. But for you to be touring football stadiums and have that level of access, there are going to be certain agendas you have to follow. Okay? Just understand that that's how white supremacy works. And I think that Kendrick's is born out of genuineness. I don't think that he's even been forced to do it like that either because, look, a lot of black people really do want us to come together. And with Kendrick having power, he's trying to exercise that power in SZA to bring it together. And it falls right in alignment with the Democratic Party agenda. So, one thing I'll say about Kendrick is this. He ain't never came out and spoke out against black people. As a matter of fact, he don't really speak up for Latinos. He's not talking about immigration. He just put a couple in his video and on his album. And I think a lot of that had to do more with street music politics. There's a certain street music politics that goes along. And we as black folks, we making a bigger deal out of it than even they are. Most people wouldn't even know that there were Mexicans. We wouldn't even know Lefty Gunplay was Mexican. We just heard his spot. If niggas weren't complaining about Kendrick putting the Mexican on his album, most of us wouldn't even know. It's crazy. It's stupid. Hilarious. Okay, cool part. But I do think that there is a certain level that you're going to have to always work with the system if you're going to be that high up in the system. It ain't got nothing to do with sellout. Appreciate that DRC for reposting the stream. Yeah, it's really YG that's pushing that's pushing it. YG is more so the one that's pushing it. Game is pushing it. Kendrick just put a Mexican in his video, and niggas went irate. Yeah, right, Robert Woods, they do miss the point. Kendrick is giving you so much. If you focus on him putting a Mexican in his album, you missed the point. That's not on Kendrick. That's on you. Like James Brown. And I'm gonna get into this other part. When James Brown dropped this, when James Brown said, I don't want nobody to give me nothing. Open up the door, I get it myself. If you missed that message because James Brown said to vote for Nixon, that's on you. Even our greats like James Brown players, hey, look, we ain't gonna always agree on every level. But if somebody giving you something of substance, nigga, go ahead and eat. And stop crying about what they not giving you, nigga. Yeah, James Brown fucked up by telling us to vote for Nixon. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He fucked up. But after he fucked up, after James Brown fucked up, he dropped this. People, gotta get over before we go under. People, we gotta get over before we go under. People, we gotta get over before we go under. We just changed a brand new funky president. The stock market going up, jobs going down. Ain't no funky job to be found. Prices going up, I'm chained to my bath. Now I drink from a paper cup, getting bad. We need to raise our food like the man. Save our money like the mob. Put up the factory and own the job. That's all you need from James Brown. So the fuck what? He said vote for Nixon. Sometimes, as black people in the conscious world, sometimes it's on you. Niggas be so quick to point at what they didn't do this right. They didn't do that right. They didn't do this right. If they gave you the balance of substance to go along with it, nigga, eat. The reason why we can go back and talk about Game ain't gave us no fucking substance. He don't have no music to live by. He didn't give us anything. Kendrick did a Super Bowl for the first time in Super Bowl history with 100% black people, and niggas was complaining that Lil Wayne drunk ass wasn't a part of it. That's what that part is on us. Man, he do that, man. He positive images of black people. Wasn't no fucking naked wasn't no strippers like the one in Atlanta with Usher. They have black women going all up and down the pole, looking like tramps. You gotta balance this shit. Stevie Wonder gave us the Martin Luther King holiday. He gave us Inner Visions, Fulfilling His First Finale, Talking Book, Songs in the Key of Life. All these albums teaching us about life. And I hear and niggas is mad because he's a Democrat. Well, Stevie Wonder's older than us. When you get into your 60s and 70s, you ain't changing political parties in your 70s. Man can't even see. But you got niggas crying, man. Stevie Wonder, man, he a sellout. No, the fuck he ain't. Stevie Wonder is still a music god. Even though he votes for a party that us younger folks see ain't doing right by us. That's where we gotta grow up. That's where we gotta grow up as a people. Man, such and such ain't perfect. That's why I say there are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those willing to play the game. To pick up the game, I should say. Niggas was mad at Ice Cube because he went on Tucker Carlson. So what? That nigga got a fucking sports league to sell. He didn't harm us by going on Tucker Carlson. I just didn't watch. Jesus. Nobody's going to be perfect. But with that being said, when we're dealing with the people with the microphone that don't really give us no game, and then what, or everything you give us is fluff and fluff and fluff and fluff. But then when you try to give us some game and some bullshit, like what the game did yesterday, we gotta call it out. But I want y'all, it was this podcast I saw yesterday, and they were trying to make this point. Can you be illegal on stolen land? I want to address this stolen land point that they make. I'm not gonna play because I don't want to copyright strike and go to back on Fig to watch their channel. They have a dope channel. But I want to go to the point about the stolen land part. But I want y'all to listen to what they say, and then we'll address it about the.
You can barely go do what you need to do. They try to get out. Damn, why you keep turning your wrist, bro? Brown pride right now.
Here we go.
And I don't mean
that's a new thing, man.
People having mixed feelings about black and brown pride right now, and I don't understand it.
What do you mean by that?
People having mixed feelings about black and brown pride. There's a lot of black people out there saying why we need to go help, or why you guys always calling us for help, or why you guys, they hate us anyway. So
no, man, that's fucked up. Whoever's saying that is out of pocket, because we always helped each other. It's always been Mexicans and blacks all our life, and if we crack off something, the Mexicans crack off with us. The Mexicans crack off with something, we supposed to crack off right with them. And they're supposed to go that way for sure.
But they saying it ain't going that way. It ain't never been going that way.
Whoever's saying that, they just retarded.
We've been sharing.
He basically said black folks and Mexicans crack off with each other. When we got shit going, they crack off with us. When they got shit going, we crack off with them. And respectfully, I asked this brother when, where, and how did you come up with that? Come on, man. When we got platforms, black folks, we can't lie to people. We can't just say things that feel good. We got,
Los Angeles for a very, very long time, man.
When Martin Luther King and all that shit happened, what the essays do? They cracked off with us.
Did y'all hear that? The brother on the left, I don't know his name, he said when Martin Luther King happened, the essays cracked off with us. Huh? Huh? We can't make up things, black folks, to feel good. LULAC, the League of Latin American Citizens in the 1940s and 50s, often promoted the idea that Mexican Americans were white and should not be grouped with African Americans. The Mexican government officially supported human rights and non-discrimination. However, leaders in the 1960s and 70s were uncomfortable with the U.S. black militancy on the rise, and groups like the Black Panthers especially when they inspired similar activism in Mexico. So during the 1968 Olympics, Tommy Smith and John Carlos raised their fists, Black Power salute. The Mexican officials were furious at John Carlos and Tommy Smith for raising their fists in Black Power, and they viewed it as disruption and politicization of their event. Mexican President Gustavo Diaz Ordaz called it an inappropriate political gesture. The government also cracked down violently on its own student protesters. Jose Vasconcelos is a prominent intellectual figure in Mexico, promoted the idea of cosmic race, a mixed superior race blending indigenous Spanish and other heritage. But his ideology study subtly excluded blackness, viewing blackness as something to be diluted. We can go up and down the list. We can find a Cesar Chavez, but Cesar Chavez fought for farmers' rights, not all rights. Boston Logistics says there's no such thing as brown community because brown people are brown Hispanics. Can't crowbar themselves into American social and political identifiers, right? Jay Shaw says there is no black and brown unity, especially in California prisons. Right. So I just have to know, just to correct the brother, I don't know if he understands his history, but no, they were not side by side with you during the civil rights movement. As a matter of fact, they were being advised to stay out of it because they were trying to be classified as white. And that's a fact. Not to say that there weren't an occasional sprinkling of somebody that may or may not have been here, been around. I mean, been in the movement. But until you can name one, we'll go with my point of view. If they were around with King and with marching, name them. Who? What was their name? What did they do? What did they say? How did they help? It's very easy. You can read books like this one of my favorite books. I love this book. We Will Shoot Back. Look how thick this book is. It took me so long to read this goddamn book. All these notes and shit. You got damn near 260 pages of black folks arming themselves. And this is only between 1955 and 1965. Black folks in Mississippi, with also some stories in Louisiana, but mostly Mississippi, arming themselves and fighting back on our own with no help between 1955 and 1965. America was at war between 1955 and 1968. People don't understand that. King, Medgar Evers, X, the Panthers, these were all casualties of war. Cities were burning all throughout America. Why? Because black people were fighting back from Miami to Seattle, from New York to LA, to Oakland, Chicago. It was a very violent time that decade, especially between 55 and 69. America was, every major city got cracked off. And we didn't get help from nobody. Not even our own fucking government. Not even our own government. Appreciate the super chat, Riri. So I'm not coming at these brothers like on some other shit. I'm coming on some, hey, brothers, we got to know what time it is. Like, nigga, I come from basketball, nigga, the game is on. We're in the second quarter. Get your head in the game. Meet the catch, meet the pass, cut, set good screens. Work with your team. Hit the open shot. Slide your feet on defense. Sit and help. Ball you man. Make sure that you're in position between the ball and the man so your eyes can all where the ball is. Let's not just play sports, niggas. Let's live sports. Whatever sports you play, we all play sports. Basketball, you keep your eye on the ball. And in defensive position, you keep your body between your man and wherever the ball is. And wherever that ball rotates, you reposition your body to be between that ball and your man. Breaking down into basketball terms if you don't want to talk race. But this is what it is. We need our fucking heads in the game. We don't have time to be playing and making shit up because we want somebody's approval. You're right. We set up the racist slave masters for years. But they want us to help by waving the Mexican flag? No. It's another good book based on what you just said, Upon These Shores. The African American experience from 1620. And this book talks to you a lot. It has like slave letters in it. Talks about a lot of the advancements we made as a people, a lot of the movement throughout this nation that we experienced. And when you read more about who we are, what you find is nobody ever came to help us. So what that dude's talking about, they stood with us. No, nobody. The only people who ever stood with us were people who were coming to capitalize off of our movement. The small hats in the 20s and the 30s, yeah, they helped co-found the NAACP, and they got their rights. But when you look at where their rights were 100 years ago versus now, what did they do? What did those people do when we rescued them from World War II? When the small hat people were being discriminated against? How did they repay us? They repaid us with Leon Cohen to destroy our music. They repaid us with all this negative propaganda in both hip hop and in the movie industry. Yeah, the few people we have had helping us, the minute they got their fucking weight up, they said, fuck you niggas. Yeah, if you my complexion, you brown, right? So the deeper you look into your history, what you find is there was no help. Nobody helped us. Even in this book right here called Segregating Sound. Even down to us creating our music, we were forced to say, no one ever came to help us. Nobody. We can't be lying to ourselves, yo. We cannot be lying to ourselves. We've only been exploited. That's right, Rashawn. We've only been exploited, never helped. Somebody said, what's up with the curfew? Our curfew's only in downtown. And if you know anything about LA, they protested in an area don't nobody be at night anyway. You know what that curfew is? Right here. All that shit that's going on is right over here in this area. There's no reason to ever be over here at night anyway. This is our courthouse. Where they are is where business happens. It's only the only time you ever need to be over here is in the daytime. This is where they are. We got some gentrifiers that just moved in over there. But over here, there's nothing over here at night to do other than the Walt Disney Hall. The Walt Disney Hall, if you have a concert there, you got something to do. But this is all goddamn, this is where the curfew is. These people aren't even protesting in an area that's going to disrupt anything in LA. Nobody in LA has any reason to ever be over here at nighttime at all. for anything. So they want to put if they want to put a curfew down here, fine. Nobody fucking go down there. Look at it. This is a business district. They burned up a business district that only has people in it from 6 in the morning to 6 at night. This motherfucker's a ghost town after 7 o'clock down here. So yeah, I know somebody in the chat thought, oh yeah, no. We're fine here in LA. Let me show you something. All them people that was getting their shit burned, all that burning that was going on. Where's Alameda? This is where all that burning was going on right here the other day. When they was over there burning shit, that was over here. You see this? This the area now, all this shit's graffiti up. This is where they were. This is where they were, right here. Burning everything up a couple days ago. You know what was happening right around the corner? BET Awards. BET weekend right here. So from here, where it says Staples Center or Crypto Arena, fuck that. This is where BET weekend was happening. Niggas was literally partying right here. Kendrick Lamar was accepting awards right here. And that so-called big riot was happening right here. Nigga, that's less than 2 miles away. Black folks, what? And you know where I was while all this shit was going on? You know where I was? I drove past all that shit. When everything was burning, I drove past all that shit to get to the Hollywood Bowl. And I was here listening to goddamn The Roots picnic, nigga. This is where I was, where all that shit was burning. I told y'all that the other day. This is what black folks was doing. This is what we was doing. This is what we was doing.
What's up? Isha's up there. Yeah, we here. Oh yeah, but let's go to the here. And yeah, we up there. We're on the train intermission.
This is what we was doing. All right? This is what we was doing. That's what black folks was doing on Sunday with all that huff and puff. So, yeah, we was minding our own black ass business. We were minding our black ass business. As I said we should. Nigga, we was jamming to this right here. Oh no, that was the wrong one. Here we go. This is what we was doing. This is what niggas was doing. This is the Rick and Morty life. While they was protesting, this is what we was doing. This is what we was doing. Come on, Black Dog, we're good. We're Mob Deep. I just realized that was Ava DuVernay sitting in front of us. And that's Ced the Entertainer over there sitting by us too. Nigga, that's what black folks was doing, all right? Let's be very clear. For everybody that's out there thinking that's what niggas was doing on this past weekend. They was burning cars on the we was doing that. All right. And look at this comment. We need to stand with Mexicans because they doing them how they do us. Believe that. Why do I have to believe when I can see 50% of ICE is Latinos? I'm a 30% of ICE. 50% of the LAPD is Latinos. Why the fuck would we jump in when they the ones that's getting the job to execute the shit that's going on? When 38% of them voted for it. You don't sit your ass down, nigga. So let's keep going with what was being said. Let's keep going.
Cracked off.
For sure. Joy Floyd with the essays, they cracked off with us. When it's time to loot, what they do? They looted with us.
This dude said, George Floyd, when it was time to loot, they looted with us. So when it was time to go steal some free shit, that's what you think us protesting is about us getting free shit? Is it a byproduct of a protest? Yes, a byproduct. But when it came to George Floyd, most black people weren't looting. Hell, white people was looting with us with George Floyd. They were looting in Minneapolis. White folks in Kenosha, Wisconsin, white people were looting. So, they come around us when it's time to party and jam, and they come around us when it's time to steal. That don't sound like much of a friendship to me.
It's time to march, they march with us. So whoever's saying that is out of pocket. I feel like, yeah, we all supposed to be down there attending today. For real.
So he's saying, those of us saying that we shouldn't help, but them are out of pocket. When he just made up a whole bunch of stuff that did not happen. And I'm not being overly critical of the brother. He's probably young. He's probably in his 30s. So he probably don't know. And he probably hasn't taken the time to find out. So I'm not here to chastise the young man. I'm not here to chastise him at all. But I am here to correct something that's just not true. They did not, and this is for the youngsters out there, no, they did not march us with King. No, they would never buy us side by side. And that's why everything has a cause and effect relationship. The reason why black people are on the tone that we're on right now is because no one was with us. We realize whenever we're going through some shit, we're on our own. Do you know that when it comes down to the percentage of the population against reparations, Latinos are more against reparations than white people? Let me see. And so I'm trying to see if I can find it real quick. I had somebody that sent me a stat before, but I cannot find it. Let me see here. No, I cannot find it. Let's see this Pew report. The only one I see right now, I cannot find it. I wish I could find it. I wish I could find it. It's different ones support. But when you break it down by race, supposedly versus support, they generally fall right in alignment with white Americans when it comes to who opposes and who supports reparations. We got to have these real conversations. Because again, I wanted to get better. Do I wish there was a black and brown unity? Hell yeah, it'd be a lot easier if it was. I ain't stupid. I believe that things will move a lot faster if we all were united. But if we're not all going to be united, we can't sit around and lie and make us feel united because it feels good. We got to go with where we are, not where we want to be.
Even me included.
Go down there and see what's up.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that.
For sure.
I love
Facts.
that.
Facts. I feel we all supposed to be down there having their back.
I feel like I heard a quote, which I said before this froze. It was like, how are you illegal on stolen land? I don't understand that, homie.
That question right there. The brother on the right in the green hat asks, how are you illegal on stolen land? And I hear that a lot. That was an accident. That shouldn't have played. But hey, let's jam to it since it did. But black people, stop saying that, man. Y'all look stupid when y'all say that. Y'all really do. All of America was technically stolen. And mostly all of Africa, too. All of Africa. Everywhere on the planet, at different times and spaces in life, one group kicks out another group and establishes a new system. Let's do some world history right now. And let's start with some world history, and then we're going to bring it back, all right? Let's do it based on the maps. Italy was once land of the Etruscans. The Etruscans look like Andre 3000. Oh, these are whitewashed versions. Here we go. This is an Etruscan right here. Don't these niggas look like 3 stacks? These are Etruscans. You see them long dreads? You see them locks? And these are the people that occupy Rome, Italy. And then they're the ones who established Latin as the language of the land. And then they were conquered, and it became the Holy Roman Empire. And then that's another point in history. The Holy Roman Empire fell, and these all became different nation states. And a little over 100 years ago, these all went from nation states to a country named Italy. How old is Italy? I can't get the name. Italy's only been around since 1871. Okay? And in order for Italy to be created, nation states that did not all necessarily agree without the use of force had to give up their ways and be united under one Italian government. Everybody except for the people that created that, and that's the Catholics, because the Catholics went around and created their own country called the Vatican. That's with Rome Russia, Prussia was all. Germany was once Prussia. Russia and the Ukraine was all once together. Black people lived on all of these lands, by the way. It was Alexander Pushkin that got the Russians speaking Russian and not German as a black poet. These was niggas over here. Same thing with the Germans, swarthy skin, according to Ben Franklin in 1751. Is this? No, not that one. This one. Observations on mankind. Look at what what's his name had to say. Ben Franklin had to say about race. Section 24. The number of purely white people in the world is proportionally very well small. All of Africa is black or tawny. Asia, chiefly tawny. America, exclusive of the newcomers, wholly so. And in Europe, the Spaniards, Italian, French, Russian, and Swedes are generally what we call a swarthy complexion. Those were black people. He's telling you in 1751, them was niggas in Europe. That's what Ben Franklin said. The motherfucker on your $100 bill. I'm about to pull one out. I forgot. I just went to the bank. I just went to the bank. Ooh, I'm about to pull one out. Y'all like saying all about the Benjamins? This dude. I just went to the bank to deposit one. That's what this nigga said. Since y'all like talking about all about the money, all about the Benjamins, well, you know what this motherfucker said? He said Europe. The Spaniards, Italian, French, Russians, and Swedes are generally what we call a swarthy complexion, as are the Germans. The Saxons only accepted what the English make up the principle of the white body on the face of the earth. I wish their numbers could increase. So if that's true, that means Europe was stolen, right? And it is. I can go into detail, but I've given that history lesson. I've interviewed Dr. Clyde Winters on this goddamn channel to tell you about the black monarchies of the Brits. Matter of fact, I might bring him on again pretty soon. Where's the other book? The man who wrote this book. I interviewed the author of this book, Ancient and Modern Brits, telling your black ass you used to run ancient Britain. They don't like telling you that, though. Fuck it. Here's another book over here. Here's the other book I was looking for earlier. Cool. I found another book I was looking for. There we go. Everywhere was stolen. Empires rise, empires fall. Mexico is stolen land. Those people that were indigenous were under occupation from the Spaniards for well over 200 years before Gaspar Yanger and all them helped them get their independence. But they were still controlled. They still spoke Spanish. Spanish isn't an American language. It's a European language. Those missions all out through California, those people were conquered. Mexico, people who lived under quote unquote Mexico were just conquered by a different European. And when they had that fight, when America had this fight to get it, Mexico, it won fair and square. Period. If they wanted the land, they could have kept it. But they got their ass whooped. That's been happening since the beginning of civilization. Black people, while you over here talking about something, well, nah, this was their land. Nigga, this was yours too. The Mississippian War, Yamasee War. America is indigenous to your black ass. Stop saying that stupid shit. Stop. It was Mexico for 27 years. Then they got their ass whooped. Los Angeles, as it is now, didn't look like that when they had that control. San Francisco, Sacramento, Phoenix, Texas. It didn't look like this. Because once America whooped their ass and got them up out of here, America built something new that wasn't in existence when they ran it. And it was your black ass labor, and not just labor, your black genius. Because a lot of slaves did build California because a lot of slaves came from Utah. And the Mormon church brought a lot of slaves into San Bernardino. The Mormons brought a lot of slaves to California. But it wasn't just the slavery of the labor, it was the mind. Those was black Americans that invented the elevator that can get us to the top of City Hall. Those was black Americans that refined and invented most of the parts on the train that got us from Mississippi to California. Those black Americans that invented the refrigerated trucks that could transport food from the east to the west. A lot of shit that we did on this land to help get this land to where it is for you guys to later come along and benefit from. And this is the book I want to bring you guys to round this whole subject up. Is Black and Brown Unity a Myth or Reality? I've talked about this before on this very page. Tanya Hernandez. This is a book called Racial Innocence. And in this book, it talks about the racism in Latin America and how Latin America brings this racism to the United States of America and how they treat dark-skinned, swarthy Latin Americans and how they bring that treatment of swarthy black Latin Americans and they bring it to America and treat black Americans the same way. But it's all done through racial innocence, playing the innocent role. The only way people are going to be able to play the innocent role is if you play along with them. Smoke them out. Let's get to the motherfucking truth. We get to the truth with each other all the goddamn time. Unmasking Latino anti-black bias and the struggle for equality. Racial Innocence by Tanya Hernandez. Stop playing, black people. Let's stop playing. Like Dr. Francis Cress Welsing said, white people know what's going on. Black people know what's going on. Everybody knows what's going on. They play stupid, and we play stupid right along with them. Thank you, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, for that knowledge. I'm gonna take a couple phone calls today. I wasn't gonna do it, but I'll do it. I'll I'll take a couple phone calls. 323-744-7425. 323-744-7425. Call in right now. Divine Creation said they believe following a floor plan to build houses equals building the country. Right. You follow the floor plan. Let's see here. My client just hit me up. But rest in peace to Sly Stone from Sly and the Family Stone, man. We're going to do later on this week, we're going to do a rest in peace tribute to Sly and the Family Stone on this channel later on this week. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Dewan B, man? This D from LA, man.
D from LA. What's your name?
Hey, look. Hey, look, bro. You know, hey, look, man, we ain't, them folks don't stand in solidarity with us, man, FBA in LA. Man, we ain't out there caping, and all them rappers from Stamp Game, Doechii, and all the rest of them old goofballs, they don't need to even be speaking on them issues, getting involved in that, because grassroots don't, we don't condone none of that, man. We not involved in nobody else's business but FBA business. And then another thing, too, Dewan B, you got some of the black communities in L.A. been complaining, man, about these car takeovers, that these white Hispanics adjacent, man, that coming to their neighborhoods, man. They had one on Western and Florence takeover, and the homies came out there, man, and shut that down.
Yeah, I saw that.
They had one on Crenshaw. The brother from 60s came out there, man, and shut that down. And then they coming in there, you know, shooting guns in the air, man, and all that. So they like, man, what y'all trying to do? Y'all trying to colonize our neighborhoods, come take over our neighborhoods? So we pushing back on that, bro. But
you make a good point.
All the people, yeah, bro.
You made a good point about the people over here like not standing with us and everything like that, because that's just true.
Yeah, bro. And to all the people in the chat, man, the whole FBA, man. We in LA is standing on 10 toes, man. We letting them folks hold their own goddamn nuts. We don't give a damn, never gave a damn about us. They don't give a damn about us in the medical industry, on the job, you know what I'm saying? And these corporations, Walmart is even funding these immigrants to push back against ICE and Trump. So we don't give a damn about them. We don't give a damn about their feelings. We stand on FBA business 10 toes down out here in LA.
Yes, sir, man.
To be clear, be one.
He ain't lying. Like, look, man. He is not lying. And that's the thing, these entertainers don't work day jobs. Thank God I never had to work the factory job. But all my brothers that do work factory jobs, especially since the 90s, man, they come back. It's hell on brothers that gotta work factories. If you do get a job in construction, them brothers are dealing with hell on the job. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's happening, Dewan? Rico, calling from Miami by the way of Alabama. How you doing, bro?
I'm all right, brother. What's on your mind?
Hey, man. Once again, I want to thank you for the great work that you do. Keep it up. I'll be waiting for that Dewan B documentary with Denzel playing you in the movie.
As long as it ain't Forrest Whitaker, we all right.
That's funny. I want to just touch on this because as far as like this brown and black solidarity type of deal, and you know, kind of like Dr. Claus.
Oh shit! I meant to. Hold on. Hold on. I think. Ah shit. I think that I hung up on. Hey, caller, call back. Call back, caller. Call back. My shit. I don't know what the fuck just happened. Let me see.
Hello?
One second. One second. I don't know what the fuck going on with this team shit. Is that you again? Hello? Hello? You there? I don't know what the fuck happened. Phone lines are tripping, y'all. I'm getting a lot of calls at the same time, so I don't know what the fuck's happening. What's up, caller? Are you there?
Hello, yes.
Yes.
I live in the Carolinas, and I just go by K. But what I will say about this whole unity thing, I've been on a date with a Mexican dude. You go into the restaurants, they make it very obvious that black people aren't welcome. They act like they don't want to serve you. Many of the restaurants that they run, that they manage, you notice that there are barely any black people and they're working. The attitudes that I've dealt with, having doors slammed in your face, like I've never fell for it. And it's weird to see all this crying online because it doesn't translate into real life. As far as like dating, maybe, but other than that, I'm not seeing all this unity that they talk about.
Real talk. Neither am I.
Even the neighborhoods, like the older black neighborhoods, when the administration first started, you noticed all the black people started moving out the neighborhoods, like the houses that their great-grandparents passed down to them. And now these neighborhoods are flooded. There's barely any black people in these neighborhoods. So I definitely saw a great replacement. And I'm in my late 20s, and I can definitely say, based off what you're saying, how you grew up in LA, not much has changed.
They figured the program out here in LA, then they spread it to the rest of the country, you know? But yeah, no, you're right about that. But thanks for giving us a call.
Thank you. Have a good one.
South Carolina is happening over there too. Hey, brother, earlier now you hung up. Call back. Let me see who this is. Who this him? I don't remember the area code of who it was that hung up. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, what's good? What's good? The Sumble, I'm calling from Mount Harlem.
Mount Harlem, what's on your mind?
I just wanted to ask a question real quick. With California, you notice, y'all got the segregation thing with the that's been happening for a long time. And I want to know, since the gangs know that they be banging against each other, and they know it's serious in jails and stuff like, and in prison, all that. Why would they why are they faking the front to come on TV and put the solidarity out there, knowing that it's not?
Do you want my honest opinion? And I live in LA, so I might have to see so many people one day, but I'm gonna give my honest opinion anyway.
Yeah, because
let me get you anyway.
Because
niggas is let me answer you.
Yeah,
niggas is scared, and the tougher people act, the more scared they are. You know, the whole bravado of I'm tough, I'm this, I'm from there, I'm from there. You got to be from somewhere because you're afraid to stand on your own 2 feet. And I'm not saying it's true with all gangsters, because I know a lot of gangsters that will stand on their own 2 feet. But I know most that won't. And you're really dealing with people who are scared, who got pushed, who circumstances pushed them into that lifestyle. And in order to compensate, it becomes an over vibrato. I know one dude who's a stone cold killer. He just got out after 23 years. But I remember him when he was coming up, teenage years. He was the scariest one. But the scariest one is the one that went and got the gun. You know what I mean? And so,
no, that's a fact.
And so, really, lack of knowledge of self, lack of self-confidence, lack of self-love, the environment and white supremacy breeded into these people at a very young age a contempt for their own. And most black people have a contempt for other black people. That's just how the shit works. The world has a contempt for us because of how the propaganda works in education and entertainment. But what happens is you got people who are willing to carry out acts. Most people just have a certain contempt, but they ain't gonna do nothing. You got people who are willing to do something, but they're not. They're scared of dealing with the people outside the community. They're scared of seeing that. They want acceptance. They need acceptance. They really want attention and love. That's really what they're looking for, is attention. They're looking for love, and they're looking for acceptance. And oftentimes when they see another black person, they see another black person that did something to their homie, did something to them, and then they got a contempt for it. And when someone like me or somebody comes along and say, hey, it's bigger than that, they don't want to have to look at that and deal with it, because now you're going to have to look at yourself. You're afraid to look at yourself. You don't like what you see. So you got to get that from somebody else. And most black people don't want to go through that process. And a lot of people that are going through all that, these are people who are scared, and then they feel inferior to other groups of people.
All right. That's very copy. One more thing. California used to be a beautiful place back in the day. Like, I remember the documents. I think documents of it back in the day. And not to say like that, but since, like, you know, the people was coming in, it seemed like it got the value decreased. I'm gonna just say it decreased. And I want to know, like, how do, like, the white American, if there's any white Americans left out there in California, how do they feel about it? Do they feel like the same way as the black Americans that have been out there as long as y'all? Like, do you even know? I'm just like curious.
I can't say being here, I can't say the values. It's still beautiful out here. If it wasn't beautiful, I'd be gone. It's still extremely beautiful. It just has a different racial makeup. And the white people don't like it. They all look like Asians that took over Orange County, Fullerton, all those areas that used to be white strongholds. All that shit's Asian now. And they do not like it. But they're not reproducing. See, but with white folks, it's because they're not reproducing enough. They have all the opportunities.
Exactly.
You know, with us, it's because we don't get the jobs and get opportunities. Like, we don't get the jobs that our mediocre black person can't go get a job as somebody's assistant for $110,000 a year. Mexicans can get those jobs all day through different corporations, because a lot of white people, they don't have numbers to replace themselves. So Mexicans, Asians, they can be mediocre and get a job within a company, and that job is going to pay them enough to afford a house and afford housing in LA. Black people, the only job we're getting is security in the mailroom. And that's going to get us pushed way out to Lancaster, or worse yet, we're having to move to Vegas, because they don't hire black folks for them kind of jobs out here. I got to take the other call, but man, thanks for giving us a call.
You know that.
There we go. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from? What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's going on, fam?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm calling from Roanoke, Virginia, man.
What's on your mind?
Not much. I just want to let you know, man. I remember like working for my granddad back when he was a mover, like, you know, just moving people, you know, like goods and, you know, just furniture and stuff from just all over the country. And I went to Texas back in the day, back in like the 90s when I was a kid, like when I was like 8, 10 years old. And I just seen just straight up point blank, like at that point in time, like I was born in 1984. So this was like in the, you know, early 90s. I seen that black and brown quote unquote coalition, and I knew it was garbage. So to me, I always thought it was a joke. So I was just, yeah, to me, I was thinking, like, oh, do these people think this stuff is real? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
Your phone broke up.
Oh, shoot, my fault. It could have been my hand. But, like, that's how I always felt about it. But, and then just that. And
you said, do they think it's real? Look, they understand that they're playing the game. We're the only one. We're the fools. They know it's not real because they know how they talk at home when we're not around. That's just something they do to play us. But I got a bunch of calls coming through, my brother. Let me take this other call.
Oh, all right.
Thanks for giving us a call, man.
All right, be cool. Be fair.
He's right. Like, no, that was a good question that brother asked. You know, they know what time it is. We're the only people that don't know what time it is. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
I'm calling from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This is Sony.
Milwaukee. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I'm just calling in to say, yes, I am almost 60 years old. So I grew up in that Gen X era with all the rap and all that, and all that gangster rap. So my kids told me that our generation is the reason why things are happening right now. And I said to them, you guys are so right. and I had to, and I'm calling to apologize to the young generation for the failures that we've done. But we can make this right, and I'm out here to help. I am almost 60. I will be retiring in about 8 years, and I'm going to get out there, and I am trying to replace my alderman in my district. We have to stick together, be positive, keep that in our mind. We have to stand with our people no matter what.
That's real talk. I don't too much have to play the bang game. Every generation has somewhat of a part of it. You know what I mean? Only thing we do now is get better. But thanks for giving us a call.
We got to move on. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. I wanted to pull this up right here, talking about racism. Let's put up some recent examples. Ryan Garcia went on a whole rant about how much he hates niggers. Wasn't no black people around. He even went so far as to say he wants to wake George Floyd up and kill him again. That was Ryan Garcia, who's managed by Oscar De La Hoya, Golden Boy Promotion, who in leaked emails back in 2015, within Golden Boy, leaked emails, they were calling Al Heyman a monkey and a nigger. You know, we ain't even around. And that's how they talk about us. Black Hitler. Here's an article right here in Boxing Scene. January 13th, investigative. I'll get you one second, caller. His investigative report exposed the efforts made by Golden Boy Promotions to have excluded from the case chain of 15 email exchange between veteran publicist Ramiro Gonzalez and boxing writer Hesquil Balderas, which the both discussed the latter articles on Al Heyman's movements in the industry, as well as how to rally more English-speaking websites for the cause. In no fewer than 2 replies referred to Al Heyman as Black Hitler, and another where, upon reviewing a story link submitted by Gonzalez, insists that his own article goes deeper into what that nigger, referring to Al Heyman, is doing. This is between 2 Latinos. Ain't no black people around. You got all this stuff going on. You got the reparations. California had a reparations report talking about the racism here in LA, and I was actually at this convention. I was there in person. And they talked about a lot of the anti-black violence from the LAPD by Latino police officers, because the LAPD is 55% Latino, and they're the majority of the police in black neighborhoods, and they have been for the last 20 years. And police brutality has not gone down since they've replaced white people as the majority of police officers in Los Angeles, California. So that's something I want to point out. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's up, man? It's Manoa from I'm actually living in Las Vegas right now.
Manoa in Las Vegas. What's on your mind, brother?
All right, so let me go and tell you 3 instances that I had that really opened and revealed to me how these you know, saying these Latinos really feel about us. And me personally, I'm from Louisiana, so a lot of us down there, we got the mind frame of the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And that's not really the case. And that showed me out here. So the first incident, right, was me and my cousin back in 2021. We was heading back to the crib, right? And so we got pulled over by these 4 Latino cops that was quote unquote the gang unit, right? So at the time my license was still with Louisiana, and he looked at it, and immediately after he looked at my license, he put me and my cousin in handcuffs because he said I didn't have a valid license, right? So for like 5 to 10 minutes, he went through my car, searched all through my car, just ravaged my car, and immediately after they got done looking all through my car to see any contraband or whatever, this bastard gonna open up my personal journal, right? And gonna look at us, stand straight to us face to face, and ask me, what does this mean? Like, what gives you the audacity to open up my journal, dude? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's incident 1. All right.
Make it quick. I got a few more calls I gotta take. So.
Okay, my bad. I'm making it quick. Yeah, the second incident when I went to this 2021 again, when I went to this Instacart, I went to this this Mexican supermarket. I was doing the Instacart. The security guard was not slick with it at all. He's sitting here following me, thinking I'm about to steal or whatever. So I played it off like I didn't see him. And the second time I caught him, he was behind another aisle, just spying on me and shit. So I got pissed off, and then when I seen him up at the counter or whatever, I told his ass, "Tu tengo problemo." I kept telling his ass, and he was looking dumbfounded.
That's what they do. Like they do
kept...
that here in LA all the time. It's like, not to cut you off, I got to get the next call, but that's what they do. They be the ones that want to follow the law by the most, but you over here legally. How you all up on the law? You ain't even here legally.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I be trying to tell my people back home and shit, because, you know, they flooding back down there, too. I be trying to tell my people, look, man, y'all got to listen to our brothers on the West Coast, because they deal with these people, and they see a different side of them that we haven't seen. Because, like I said, we believe down there that black and brown is a thing, and that's really not the case at all.
It's not
the
case at all, man. Thanks for giving us a call. I got to get to the next call, my man. Thanks.
All right, bro.
Brothers down south, and if y'all better listen to us from Cali. He's right. Y'all better listen to us. Y'all better listen to us. Do I got somebody on hold? What's up, caller? You there? I had somebody. I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know what the fuck going on with this thing. This phone tripping. But here's something else I want you to take a look at right here. Student suspensions. It's a lot of Latinos that teach in the LA Unified School District. I know because for years I was going in these schools working with all these kids on all sides of town. There's a lot of Asian and Latino teachers, more than white. Not that many white teachers anymore. Not that many black. The majority of teachers are Latino, some and Asian. Look at the student suspensions. The black students are suspended more than triple other races. Triple. If there was any kind of level of unity, when you see how many are running things in both the school district and the LAPD, something should have changed. Something should have changed. But it hasn't. While at the same time, I gotta stop that shit from doing that. While at the same time, we black folks, when we're in control, you don't see black teachers suspending Latino kids at a higher rate. You don't see black police officers harassing Latinos. You don't see black officers getting harassment suits against Latinos in LA, or whites or Asians or anybody else. Black officers is generally squeaky clean. Do you know that I did a study about 3 years ago on I did a show about 3 years ago on all of the gangs within the LAPD and the LA County Sheriff. And with all of the gangs in the LAPD and the LA County Sheriff had like 23 gangs, only one gang was black, and they said that gang was more so built out of camaraderie over weekend activities and had absolutely nothing in their file, not one person. So it wasn't really a gang. They just tried to classify them. But there are 23 different gangs in the LA County Sheriff Department. The Asians have gangs, the Latinos have gangs, the whites have gangs, and all of those different gangs were tied to different levels of nefarious activities. Don't let these niggas lie to you, man. We can't be lying to ourselves because we want sexual access and acceptance from other groups. At some point, we're going to have to accept ourselves. Take one last call, because I think this is who I hung up on earlier. Hopefully What's up, Carl? What's the name? Where you calling from?
Yes, sir. What up, Dewan? That was your brother that said part of your documentary.
Okay, yeah. Because I hung up by accident. Yeah, I'm glad you called back. That's why. What's up,
it's all good,
Go ahead and finish your thought off, or you start back over.
Oh, yes, sir. I was just talking about how Dr. Carl Anderson talked about how your loyalty mainly will fall on the two things primarily, socially and economically. So we talk about this brown and this brown and black unity. I look at it on the smallest level, and that's food. If you go to the Taco Tuesday, the taco trucks, even down here in South Florida, you go to the Cuban spots, you got black people, and I'm gonna say LBA, American black people supporting these businesses. On the flip side, it's not reciprocated. You don't see those like the Latino groups going to Wing Wednesday at Tina's Soul Food Cafe or to a brother's soul food taco restaurant is not reciprocated. So I say that to say this: why should we support them socially when they don't even support us on the smallest level? And that's feeding their belly. I land my plane. Thank you, brother.
Good talk, man. Thanks for giving us a call.
Yes, sir.
Man, right. Support is economic, man. Support is economic. And what you can do is you can show you support me by going to Debunking.com. We have our music family tree summer school that's getting ready to start for both the youth. It's tailored towards the youth, but if you're an adult and you want to enroll, you only got to pay one person household $150 is 5 classes. 5 classes, $30 a class. On the Black American Music Family Tree, that's going to come with, it's going to be much more than what you get on YouTube. It's going to have a digital workbook, artist and instrument fact sheets, a glossary, and a digital certificate of completion, along with Spotify playlists. You can go to dewannb.com for that right now. You could also go to the shop for these t-shirts right here. Type in the product code BACK4MORE to get a discount. You got the Black Music Month t-shirt, Juneteenth t-shirts, limited edition 1865, the Black American Music Family Tree, and Dr. John Henry Clark. Black people don't owe anybody anything but an ass whooping. Get this motherfucker right now. But look at this here. All these active gangs within the LA County Sheriff Department. None of them are black. You got the executioners, the banditos, the regulators, the cowboys, the reapers. And they be going at each other. All I'm saying is the black officers don't do the same to non-black people. I guess that shit's not gonna stop until after I end this show. But that's what we got. Let's tell the truth, man. Tell the truth, shame the devil. And let's stop lying. And no, they did not march with us on Martin Luther King. That's the reason why we're having this talk today about black folks just sitting out is because for hundreds of years, no one comes to help us. Nobody. Only opportunists. And when they get their little opportunity based off what we fought for, they take their food and they run. And they eat it over there by themselves. It's like a pack of hyenas. Hyenas come and take that food and go, wait somewhere else over there. That's what they do. What's the evidence to what I'm saying? How many black people do you see working for these for Latino-owned stores and shops? In that same video, dude made the point that they're the ones you see working at McDonald's, yeah, for cheap labor. How many black people are working on construction sites? in the clerk's office, the DMV here in LA. See, y'all down south, y'all ain't got to this point yet. Y'all still got the government jobs and a lot of the contracts down south and in the Midwest. We're now 40 years into this, the heavy Latino migration. And starting in about 2002, 3, right when I was coming up, because I was applying for them city jobs, I couldn't get one. They made it now to where you don't even have to be a citizen to get a job for the county of LA or the LAPD. Meanwhile, when I was applying with my college degree, I couldn't get one. I got another friend that has a master's degree, couldn't get a city job. With a master's degree from Pepperdine University right here in LA, couldn't get a city job because he a black man. See, a lot of people that like making these points about, well, black people need to do this, black people need to do that. Well, anybody talk like that, I'm your Huckleberry. I am the nigga with a degree. I am the dude that went and did it the right way. My whole family is. All my friends are. I don't have any loser friends. Most of my friends are married, got degrees. We did it the right way. Unfortunately, 7 out of 10 black folks that I know that got degrees and did it the right way had to move to a different state to get a job to support their family. Because if they stayed here in LA, the best they was going to get is Costco or Uber. That's why I'm glad I created my own business. But why do I have to create my own business to have a decent salary when it's millions of jobs out, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of jobs that pay enough for me to live a decent lifestyle, but they don't hire me because of the color of my skin. And in LA, 4 out of 10 times, it's a Latino making that decision. Well, I gotta be exceptional. When they get to be mediocre and successful. That's a serious question. Sonia, I appreciate the Cash App, Sonia. Much love and appreciation for that. Y'all can hit the Cash App too, $DewanB1. Make sure when we end this video, y'all leave a comment afterwards. It truly does help with the algorithm. Let me see, Boxing Logistics. Logic says, we don't want to hear from ninjas with Mexican baby mamas. He said, truly half the expense here are illegal. Not going to argue with that. Sergeant Cheryl Dorsey, LAPD officer, 25 years, never had to fire her weapon. Right. I like Cheryl Dorsey. She's beautiful too. Never had to fire her weapon. Right. Right. That's the world we live in, y'all. I gave you guys information today. This isn't emotional. This isn't about how I feel. I would want everybody to come together and be good, but I'm not going to lie to you at the same time and act like I don't see what I see. All that, this was Mexico first. We stole it. Mexico stole it from indigenous people, and they held on it for a little bit. This whole fucking world is stolen. That's what happens in the world. Civilizations rise, civilizations fall. And just like Mexico fell to the United States, one day the United States is going to fall, split up, break up. Something is going to happen sometime within the next 100, 200 years, maybe sooner. Mexico's going to one day fall. Canada's going to one day fall. So will Argentina and Tanzania and Poland and Finland and Peru and France and Spain, Saudi Arabia, at some point at China, Japan. At some point, they're going to turn over too. We cannot allow that to get in the way of the fact that we built this land and they built Mexico. We built America, they built Mexico. Mexico's fucking beautiful. I was in Cabo San Lucas last year. That shit was amazing. Well, like they got land too that they built. Now, if you want to come over here and work, that's fine. I don't care about why people be. I believe I'm a citizen of Earth. I believe people should live wherever the fuck they want to live. But you're not gonna at the same time play me and be like, okay, yeah, no, I have equal rights because you guys stole this land 200 years ago. No, the fuck you don't. Because you don't have equal equity into building this land. All right? Let's all follow the laws. Let's all love each other. Let's all black people come together from the north to south, the east and the west and the Midwest, and just know that, you know, we are our own friend. We are our own salvation. We're not going to get any help, so let's just keep relaxing. Because yeah, Trump is gonna come for us. They all gonna come for us. Trump is coming for us. That racist ass office, they are coming for us. Guaranteed. Hell, they already are. All them layoffs that they just had. You see they're cutting black women's jobs like crazy. Black women lost tens of thousands of jobs just in the last 3 months. They're already coming for us. We're gonna have to rest up and solve that problem when it hits our doorstep. All right? I'm out of here. Make sure y'all share this shit. We out.